What if the most critical factor in the success or failure of your closest relationship operates entirely outside your conscious awareness? Before any argument is resolved, before any gesture of affection is exchanged, and before any decision about commitment is made, your nervous system has already performed an instantaneous subconscious evaluation. This evaluation determines whether genuine connection is even possible. This process is known as neuroception, and the resulting mutual regulation between partners is called dyadic co-regulation. It forms the autonomic safety dance that precedes all conscious relational dynamics. Today, we explore this foundational mechanism with the precision it demands, drawing from the rigorous framework of Polyvagal Theory developed by Dr. Stephen Porges. In the study of human relationships, conventional approaches often emphasize communication skills, attachment styles, or behavioral patterns. Yet these strategies frequently prove insufficient because they address only the surface layer of interaction. Beneath cognition lies the autonomic nervous system, which continuously scans the environment for cues of safety or threat. Neuroception, the term coined by Dr. Porges, refers to this subconscious neural process whereby the autonomic nervous system evaluates risk without engaging higher cortical awareness. When safety is neurocepted, the ventral vapal complex activates, enabling dyadic co-regulation, the reciprocal stabilization of physiological and emotional states between two individuals. This mechanism is not optional. It is the biological prerequisite for intimacy, trust, and long-term relational stability. Without it, even the most skilled communicators find themselves trapped in cycles of misunderstanding and emotional distance. To understand neuroception and co-regulation, we must first examine the hierarchical organization of the autonomic nervous system, as articulated in polyvagal theory. Evolution has layered three distinct circuits within us. First, the most recent and uniquely mammalian circuit, the ventral vagal complex, supports the social engagement system. When active, it promotes calm states, spontaneous eye contact, prosodic vocalization, and gentle facial expressions. Heart rate slows, digestion optimizes, and the body enters a physiological state conducive to connection and co-regulation. Second, the sympathetic nervous system mobilizes defensive responses, fight or flight. In this state, the body prepares for action, heart rate accelerates, muscles tense, and higher social capacities are temporarily inhibited. Third, the oldest circuit, the dorsal vagal complex, induces immobilization or shutdown under perceived life threat. This manifests as dissociation, emotional numbness, or collapse. Neuroception operates continuously and subconsciously, determining which circuit dominates at any given moment. In a dyadic context, each partner's nervous system broadcasts and receives these autonomic signals. When both detect safety, their ventral vagal systems synchronize, breathing patterns align, heart rhythms entrain, and a shared physiological calm emerges. This is dyadic co-regulation in action, the literal safety dance that allows vulnerability and intimacy to flourish. If neuroception registers threat, even subtly, one partner's sympathetic activation can rapidly cascade, pulling the other into defensive arousal. Rational dialogue becomes neurologically inaccessible because the brain prioritizes survival over connection. This insight reframes relational discord not as a failure of willpower or communication, but as a mismatch in autonomic states. Most couples therapy focuses on content, what is said, while neglecting the prerequisite physiological safety. Consequently, interventions often fail because they attempt cognitive work when the nervous systems remain in defensive mode. In secure partnerships, partners function as external regulators of each other's vagal tone. A soothing tone of voice, sustained soft gaze, or gentle touch can shift the other from sympathetic arousal back into ventral vagal safety. This co-regulation reduces relational transaction costs dramatically. Emotional investment becomes physiologically rewarding, and the impulse toward defection diminishes. Historically, pre-industrial societies embedded this co-regulation in communal rituals and constant physical proximity. Modern individualism and digital disconnection have heightened vulnerability to dysregulation, making deliberate cultivation of this safety dance essential. Philosophically, it grounds Martin Buber's concept of I-thou encounter in preconscious bodily trust rather than mere intention. Fortunately, neuroception and co-regulation can be cultivated through precise, evidence-informed micro-interventions. These practices are not elaborate exercises, but subtle shifts in presence that signal safety to the other's nervous system. Begin with synchronized breathing. Sit or stand side by side and place one hand on your own chest. Inhale slowly for 4 counts and exhale for 6. Allow your breath to gradually align with your partner's rhythm. This simple act down-regulates sympathetic activation and helps restore ventral vagal dominance. Another powerful cue is prosodic voice and soft gaze. When tension arises, deliberately slow and soften your vocal tone while maintaining gentle, non-staring eye contact. These cues directly engage the social engagement system and communicate safety at a biological level. Light, intentional touch can also facilitate rapid co-regulation. A hand placed gently on the upper chest or shoulder, combined with slow breathing, stimulates vagal pathways and signals reassurance to the nervous system. During moments of rising activation, a brief verbal reassurance can help stabilize the interaction. Calmly state, "I am here, I am on your side, we can pause and return." When delivered from a regulated state, this reinforces neuroception of safety. Another practice involves a simple heartbeat connection. Sit facing each other and place a hand over the other's heart. Breathe together quietly for about 30 seconds. This small ritual encourages oxytocin release and promotes neural synchrony between partners. Consistency in these practices gradually rewires the relational nervous system. Over time, default threat responses can shift toward habitual safety detection, making calm connection the new baseline rather than the exception. Mastery of this autonomic safety dance yields compounding benefits. Partners who co-regulate effectively show greater resilience to external stress, deeper emotional intimacy, and measurable physiological improvements such as stronger vagal tone and reduced inflammatory responses. From an evolutionary perspective, this capacity represents a uniquely mammalian innovation that supported long-term bonding and cooperative caregiving. It is one of the biological foundations of human relationships. In an era characterized by heightened autonomy, chronic stress, and digital overstimulation, couples who consciously cultivate neuroception of safety gain access to a level of relational depth that many never experience. The autonomic safety dance of neuroception and dyadic co-regulation is the unseen foundation upon which enduring relationships are built. It does not require perfection or extraordinary effort, only consistent, intentional signals of safety. Begin with a single small practice and observe how your nervous system and your partners respond. With time, you might notice a shift from reactive conflict toward regulated connection. If this exploration of relational neuroscience has been meaningful to you, consider subscribing for more insights into the science of flourishing. And take a moment to reflect on which of these practices you might begin using this week. Thank you for your thoughtful attention. Until next time, may your nervous systems find safety in one another.